Okay, here we're going to talk about the photosynthesis homework. Number 1, what is the ultimate source of energy for all living things on Earth? And that's the sun. During photosynthesis, the light energy from the sun is used to produce molecules of glucose or sugar. That's right. What does ADP and ATP stand for, and what is the role? You wrote on here that ATP is like a dead battery and ADP is like a charged battery. That's really the other way around. ATP is the charged battery, and it is energy rich. Once it gives up its energy, it becomes ADP, so that's the dead battery. And that's energy poor. Okay? All right. I'm looking for the ones. What is the difference in the way autotrophs and heterotrophs obtain energy? So autotrophs use the sun's energy, right? And uses the sun's energy. So basically obtains its energy from the sun using photosynthesis, right? Examples of autotrophs are plants, fungi, right? Heterotrophs cannot make their own food. They need to eat autotrophs in order to get the energy stored in the glucose that the autotrophs have stored. Example of heterotrophs then: humans, tigers, birds, etc. All right? You have the correct equation for photosynthesis, and chlorophyll reflects green light. That's right. What plant structures control the passage of water out of the plant and carbon dioxide into the plant? Those are the stomata. Okay? And I'm not sure why they're called necessarily evils. I'll have to look that one up. But let's look at the next sheet, because I actually think I have better information now. Number 14, I'm going to go to another page. 14 says, which of the following is not required for photosynthesis? Well, if you look at the equation that you wrote for photosynthesis, it said 6 CO2 plus 6 H2O plus the sunlight, right, makes 6O2 plus C6H12O6 glucose. So if you just look at this equation, you'll see that oxygen is not required for photosynthesis. Okay? Which is true about chlorophyll? Number 1 is not true. It doesn't absorb green light, it reflects green light. We do know number 3 is true. It absorbs red and blue light the best. Okay? Photosynthesis is the process of trapping the sun's energy in order to make glucose. That's true. Carbon dioxide is produced during photosynthesis. That's false. Oxygen is produced. ATP is very energy poor, and ADP is energy rich. That is false. Heterotrophs depend on autotrophs, but autotrophs are not dependent on heterotrophs. I think that that's false based on a question further on this page. 20. All parts of the plant are capable of carrying out photosynthesis. That's false. Only the leaves, right? Okay. The primary photosynthetic part of the leaf are the spongy cells. 21. That's false. The spongy cells are in the middle, center of the cell, and they're not responsible for photosynthesis. They're actually responsible for gas exchange. Okay? Fill in the blank. Organisms that can make their own food are autotrophs, right? Organisms that cannot make their own food are heterotrophs. Life on Earth is dependent on photosynthesis for what two things? I believe it's for the glucose and the oxygen. 25. Why do autotrophs depend on heterotrophs? I was reading on the internet, and I'm not sure what's in your notes, but one of the things was pollination. Don't know if that's true. I would think you may need heterotrophs for the carbon dioxide because carbon dioxide is used in photosynthesis. But let me know what's in your notes. 26 says, water is required for photosynthesis. How does the plant acquire this? Well, it acquires water from the roots, from the ground into the roots, and it's carried up the stem of the plant by the xylem. It carries water to the leaves from the roots, okay? Carbon dioxide is required for photosynthesis. How does the plant acquire this? It gets the carbon dioxide through the stomata. Then it says, any substance that absorbs light. I'm not sure what that word would be. I'm not sure. 29 says, what is the name of the waxy layer found on the upper and lower surface of the leaf? Well, that's the cuticle, all right? And why is this necessary? It's necessary, I wrote this down, to prevent water loss from the leaf. Okay? What is the name of the cells in the leaf that are the primary photosynthetic layer of the leaf? Oh, I wrote this down. That the palisade layer, right? That contains the chlorophyll. The chloroplasts, which contain the chlorophyll, right? What is the name of the middle portion of the leaf? Well, I think they call it the spongy layer. That's where the gas exchange happens. But the palisade layer and the spongy layer are known as the mesophyll. The xylem, we said, carries water to the leaves from the root, and then the, you got it here, phloem carries glucose to where it's needed in the plant's body. And I think the only one I didn't have answered was the name of any substance that absorbs light. Well, let's see if we can find it. Any substance that absorbs light. Any substance that absorbs light. Let's see what it might be called. Pigments. It turns out light-absorbing substances are referred to as pigments. That's probably what you would find in your notes, right? So pigment, any light-absorbing substance. All right, well, I think that should answer most of the biology questions, all right?